The last man standing to the top left of a killer. He's fighting for fire. He's fighting for the Prime team. It is
Creator Prime.
Creator Prime, 16 years old. Won WCS Korea last year. Placed second at the global finals. Behind Parting. He's up against the Terran player to the bottom right of the map. In blue we have
NS HoSeo Jakji.
Joshi has had such a troubled past, coming as a champion. Everyone calling him a one-hit wonder after he fell out of Code A. Has not always come through for his team when they needed him in the Team League, but so far today, he's done what he needed to do. He took out Marine King, and if he wins just this final game, his team advances.
He's definitely the most experienced player on the roster, 19 years old, Jakji that is. 3 years older than his opponent. But Creator is not a pushover, far from it. This is one of the guys who has great timings, especially against Terran. One of the things that he's relying upon most of the time is his upgrade timings. He's going into 2-2, 3-3, and as soon as those upgrades finish, he will be there to hit you and hit you hard.
Yeah. He is a very, very good player at hitting that 3-base attack with the SCV pull. Something we may see on this map because the rush distance is quite short. But anything is possible, and so far it looks like he's going to do a 1 barracks gasless expand. Creator takes only 1 gas, does not do the double assimilator 2 and 2.
This must be a lot of pressure for him, and Creator is a player that we've talked about a lot in the past. Before he won the Korean qualifier in August 2012, one of the biggest problems that he had was nerf issues in the booth. He was always a player that had very crisp build, very unique builds, and he was one of the best players that Prime had on their roster. But every single time he sat in the booth, he was very, very nervous, and that led to his demise. But then, in August 2012, suddenly, with the WCS Korea, he shook off those nerf issues, and he played like a freaking boss. He was so good, and from this point on, he really performed better and better every single time we saw him. But now there's a lot of added pressure to the Protoss player's performance.
Yeah, and things are starting to get heated here. He sees very carefully, you notice that probe checked in just to make sure it wasn't a fake SCV making the command center. He sees it, he's confirmed it 100%, there's no doubts now. You know, the only way that could be fake is if he canceled it and spent 100 minerals to do that. That would be silly. So he's already scouted the command center, so he can flexibly now go and take his own Nexus. He even makes the Zealot here, so there's not going to be an eBay block. And there goes the probe heading over. He needs a little bit more time, but he will start that pretty soon. Epic music we had just playing there.
This is such a cool game. This is so awesome. I really love this situation. I feel for the Prime team, and I'm a huge fan of their style and of their players. But I was so worried that Jakji and his team would get all killed this time, because they suffered 2 all kills already. They were in dire straits. Everyone was worried for them, and it seemed to continue this trend where they struggle in the Team League over and over again. They don't have a single player in Code A right now. They didn't go through it. They just have no exposure at all. This is the only thing that they can do, and they did so bad in the last few games, but now suddenly they are back, and they are back with a vengeance, and Prime was hit hard in the last few games.
Yeah, Prime was really hit hard. They're on their last leg here with Creator. It's a great leg to stand on with a 4-0 stats for closer, but we'll see what Creator can pull out here. He goes now into the robotics tech, of course, after his Nexus is down. A very safe style, and if he plays the style that we expect from him, he'll add a double forge in the next few moments as well.
Yeah, and this also, I mean, what Creator currently does also tells us that we won't see different strategies that you can perform on this map. One of the things that you see in Pro League over and over again, I think one of the last players that played it was actually Parting, is a blink all-in style where you use the Mothership Core for the high ground vision. Back in Wings of Liberty, you didn't have the Mothership Core, so you had to get your robotics out for the Observer, but now it's a little bit different. And it's a strategy that we've seen on several maps, especially 2-player maps that are very small, or of course the best round to play it. But we have Creator with a completely different style here. He's going into the late game, whereas we have Jakji now, even with a second bunker at the front. He wants to be 100% sure that he is able to hold off a gateway timing if there is one.
Yeah, being very safe. He also has these Marines in the main base in case of Oracle, or, you know, that the Mothership Core flying in with a delayed blink stalker timing like you were talking about. There's the Mothership Core, speaking of which, it was a little bit delayed. Creator had a sentry on the way, an additional one, then he canceled it and started stalker instead, so you get that Mothership Core out, but He has not added his forges yet, and I think that's part of the reason for this is that he was a little bit delayed on his mothership core, wanted to play a little bit more with his gateway units out first.
Look how careful Jakchi is, even positioning this SCV at the front to make sure that he sees what's coming. And now we have the scout coming in with the illusion, with the hallucination. This is of course pretty cool, and something that we see a lot more in Heart of the Swarm now that they don't have to research the hallucination upgrade anymore.
He sees everything. He knows there's a double bunker, so no frontal assault is going to work. He also knows that Jakchi is feeling a little bit nervous here, and he's going to take, it looks like, a third Nexus with his forges. So he's taken every risk in the book, but he's already scouted everything. He's seen the fast third command center. He's seen the double bunker. He knows that it's a pretty good time for him to take a third Nexus if he wants to. He's got the upgrades going down.
And if you look at the Harvest account, you can see that both of them are on even footing here. And this is something that is very uncommon for this matchup. Usually the Protoss player is significantly ahead in the Harvest account, which is not the case here. So Jakchi in this situation was at least able to get himself a very good economy. And just looking at the third base that he has a little bit faster, actually a lot faster than his opponent, he has a really good economy to bank this up.
Yeah, extremely good. And he's already destroying his rocks. Creator has done the same. Creator's going to have a little bit delayed of that Nexus, of course, with the command center already going down. You can compare the two directly, but with the tech he has to make up for it, it's going to be good. He's already getting Colossi, he's getting 1-1, and his Twilight Council. It all lines up for him. So this is generally how this matchup is played these days.
As you could just see, the problem for Jakchi really is that he did not see the forges yet. So he has no idea where the gas for Creator is going at this point. He just doesn't know, which is also one of the reasons why we don't see him with the second engineering bay right away. Now that the armory is started, it shouldn't take too long for him to also get the second... Oh, the engineering bay is also started as well, so going into the +2/+2 then as soon as he can.
And this is really important. I'm so glad you brought this up. He doesn't know where the gas is going, and this is such a vulnerable moment for him for a 2 Colossus push, for example, when he's so heavy on Marines before his Marauders are out. So he has to be very cautious right now, and now he's starting to be a little bit aggressive with his first medevacs coming out. He's even going to destroy these rocks very carefully so his Marines don't get crushed.
Yep, the one Marauder is like, whoa guys, that was not fair.
I wanted to blow up the rocks too, but...
Yeah, not today. It's a very tense situation now. We have in this position Creator being ahead in the upgrades, which is usually the case when he plays, and also against Terran Protoss normally has the upgrade lead, which is one of the reasons why a few Terran players in the past even started double engineering bay early on in the game to make sure that they are not too far behind. But right now this is just Creator style, going straight into +2/+2. This lines up just so well for him, and this is exactly the style that he's known for.
Yeah. I really like Jakchi hitting his +2 for his infantry right away. The second that +1 finished, he went right into that. His army was lined up. So, yeah, he is going to be behind, but he is definitely making sure that he's on top of hitting his upgrades. He's getting a second starport right now, which is going to help him out, of course, against the Colossi.
Jakchi is playing great here. I mean, we've been talking about Creator's timings and also how well he does in the macro game, but Jakchi playing a little bit greedy early on, and now he's starting to benefit from it. He has the production, he's going into the double upgrades, we have him with a supply lead over Creator, and also being on 3 bases with a better economy. So this is a really nice setup to bring us into the late game.
And in typical Creator style, I think that's the 5th Observer he's lost now this game. And even with his hallucinations, he still loses them.
If you ever want to play a few drinking games when you're watching the GSL and GSTL, never ever take a shot when Creator is losing an Observer. That is a rule that you should never go for because you won't survive the day.
Yeah, you will actually die. Well, this is a really scary drop coming in here. He doesn't have a lot to defend it just yet, but when the Colossus gets in, that's great. Oh no! Creator!
Great attack here at the 3rd, taking out the Colossus, and now he can snipe the Nexus.
Yeah, there's no way it can be stopped. Even if he puts the Nexus cannon down, it's not going to do enough.
It's not going to do anything at all, and he immediately gets into the medivacs. He's darting into the main base. He can't take down the robotics bay.
The robotics bay is exposed. He goes for it. Time warp goes down to make it a little bit harder to escape, but he can still get out of here.
He gets out with most of his units in another set of Marines and Marauders, heads towards the 3rd.
Forces a cancel, gets a sentry.
Oh
this is
God.
Multitasking at its best. Jakchi leading a school on it right now. Speaking of schools, there's a Ghost Academy coming up so he can deal with any sort of transition into Templar now that he knows he's killed the Bay.
+2/+2 just now finishing for Creator, but Jakchi, what an impressive display. Distracting his opponent with a drop at the natural and then hitting the 3rd hard, taking it down, dropping into the main base, crushing the tech of his opponent. Great job here by Jakchi.
even cloaking going down for the Ghosts right now, so he's going to be able to do a lot with these. And he doesn't stop Vikings. He knows he doesn't lose any of his medevacs, so he doesn't need to use his starports for anything with Vikings now. And he's getting Ghosts as well, so he's building a proper composition. And just look at the supply plummet for Creator when it comes to the difference, because he doesn't have that third base to capitalize on the extra gateways he's added.
Big problem for Jakchi is that he doesn't start his upgrades, and Creator is on his way to get +3/+3. In the past, what we've seen from the Prime player countless times is an attack exactly at the moment +3/+3 stun. And with a massive lead in upgrades, he can do so much damage and even compensate for a lack in supply.
Yeah.
So this is dangerous. Jakchi needs to be very careful here, but he has a very good setup.
He may actually just pull his SCVs and go. Yeah, he's doing that.
Yeah,
he knows he has this exact timing before 3-3 is done. He has the bigger army. It's much larger than his opponent. He has Hellbats. He's pulling every last SCV from all three of his bases.
He knows that he is in a massive supply lead, and he wants to make sure that he can run with it. Takes down the Observer, but the SCVs have already been spotted. Creator knows exactly what's coming. Can he stop it, though?
Yeah, this is going to be the game-deciding push. A massive army supply lead for the Terran player, for Jakchi.
And Creator's only slightly ahead in upgrades. +3/+3 is not done just yet. The timing is perfect for Jakchi, and he's moving in with those Vikings. Those Colossi don't stand a chance.
The Stalkers blink in, but they block the Zealots. The Colossi die instantly. He can land those Vikings from the back now.
Everything is dying here. Creator is plummeting down in supply. The upgrades are still not done, and so much firepower for the Terran player. Everything is gone, and GG!
NS HoSeo wins.
Oh my god, Jakchi with 2 wins after Mad Bull defeated 2 Terrans already. What a great performance here today by NS HoSeo. They have done it.
What a sick day of NS HoSeo matches coming at us. We had only 2 players, but all the games that we saw were so well played.
With a 4-1, they crushed the Prime team. Unbelievable.
Nobody would have expected this result. Nobody, never, not nobody, know how.
This is insane. This is crazy. And of course, it's amazing for NS HoSeo. That's exactly what they needed. They were at -8. Now they are still at -5, but they won their first match. And they are on the same amount of wins and losses as Prime. They are on 1-2.
Yes. This is exactly what they would have hoped for today, and this is a good score. This is not a 4-3 win, this is a 4-1, so that helps them so much because, you know, when you're in the middle and when things get closer, you know, later on in our season, every single win counts, so this is a good victory for them. And it's also, I think, so important to note that this is such a great confidence booster for the team's morale because they were double all killed and now they have a strong win under their belt.
Exactly. It builds up confidence and that's what they need. Marine King not happy. I don't think they can't believe it yet.
Yeah.
For them, you could really see it earlier on. They were not really like condescending about it, but they believed this would be one of their easier matches that they would have this season. It turned out that everyone underestimated NS HoSeo quite significantly. A lot of fans were still rooting for them. They are the underdog here and they knew it, and they pulled it off. And as you said, not only with a 4-3, they crushed Prime.
No, this is a sweeping defeat for Prime, and now NS HoSeo is on the scoreboard. And I'm hoping, like we saw yesterday, we'll get an interview with both Mad Bull and Jakchi because they both have the same number of wins, and as a result, they're both kind of both MVPs of the team today.
I would really like to hear what Mad Bull has to say, but in particular, I'm happy for NS HoSeo, I have to say. With another defeat today, the team would have been, I feel, completely out of the season. But right now, with the performance that they've shown, they have a good position to maybe even reach the playoff. Might be a stretch here, but if they perform this well in the next matches, they might be able to pull this off.
There is hope. You know, that's what they earned today. The hope, the momentum that they need going into their next team match. Not to be the double all-killed team, but the team that was all-killed twice and then destroyed Prime. And every team that faces them from now on is going to know that something is happening, something is changing on their team. They're getting their focus together. Their players are looking stronger against Prime, and you got to take them a little bit more seriously going forward.
We talked a lot about how a new player has to step it up for them, and Mad Bull today certainly did. So now they have another player to deliver a few wins, not only relying on Jakchi all the time. NS HoSeo coach here, of course, really happy about the result.
올킬 패배를 당해서 멘붕이 되긴 했었는데
He states the obvious. They got all killed twice in a row and were really a little bit worried.
고맙게 생각을 하고요.
He's especially thankful to his players for just not getting disheartened by the all kills and for having confidence in their abilities and heading into this match with the intent to win.
참 이 NS 호소의 힘 중에 하나가 어려운
He's basically confirming what we already said earlier, that Mad Bull in particular prepared a lot for today, that he let out a lot, and it showed today. It really showed.
That was really, really impressive. And I agree so much with the coach said. They kept their spirits high despite being all killed twice. You know, they didn't come in here with this look of hopelessness. They came in here motivated, and it definitely showed.
The coach thinks that even though they prepare very well for their matches, it's very important to control your mentality when you're in a broadcaster's match. And of course, luck is a factor as well.
That's so well said. You know, we don't get to see the NS HoSeo coach speak very often because the team does not win most of the time. But now that we get to see what he's saying, I really respect what's coming out of his mouth right now. Talking about his words. Now, Jockey does have the microphone, so we're going to hear from him first.
오늘 이겨서 정말 좋고요. 오늘의 승리를 기훈이에게.
Great job today.
He's really, really happy he won today. He wants to actually give the victory to Mad Bull, though, so he passes him the microphone.
Can't wait for that. Jockey's so sneaky. He's like, no, I don't want to be interviewed.
Yeah, he dodges. And here is Mad Bull.
비공식전 때 2패를 기록했었는데
in the preseason, I lost 2 matches when I came out.
포석이 아니었나. 그렇게 생각을 하고 일단
I was able to win 3 matches in the first official matches he participated in, so I think he only won 2 though. He said he prepared really, really well for the Red City match, and the match went exactly as he expected, as he predicted, and how he prepared. So how did you prepare your ceremonies or after the first set? Which
I would rather like to know what exactly those ceremonies are supposed to. I don't know.
알려주겠다, 같이 이렇게 공유를 해주겠다 이런 식으로 해가지고 많이 참고를 했어요.
Those fans actually helped him prepare the ceremony. They gave him the idea. So that's really strange.
I don't know, guys. We have to talk about this.
I guess it's the guy who held up the phone earlier with the Photoshop.
We still don't know that was a Photoshop.
Yeah, we don't know for sure.
He might be doing this for years now already, and we just don't know.
I think those were the same pants he wore before, but I'm not 100% sure.
That is no Photoshop, Wolf. That is not a Photoshop.
The shadow makes it look very real.
작년에 그 17초 영화제라는 걸 제가 주연이었어요.
아, 영화 배우 출신이군요. 영화 배우 출신이에요.
Apparently he filmed a short movie last year with his friends, and that's when they filmed that movie.
So it actually is real. That's so funny.
So he really is that weird.
Yeah, I want to know about this short movie and where I can find it.
I want to see that movie. I actually don't know if I want to see that movie. I'm tempted, but I'm scared.
That's how I felt about Human Centipede, but I got through it, and I think that I could get through this one too. I definitely want to see it.
Well, sort of the last time really confirmed that he's one of the craziest persons in the team, like in a good way, that he's a very funny guy. He proves it every time we see him at the GSTL.
We started the official season with 2 losses, as everyone knows, but the team is not disappointed, not discouraged, and they're still confident that they could actually still take it.
I'm really amazed that he's such a good speaker in front of the camera. Most of the Koreans that we see are very intimidated the first time they're on camera, but if you can see him right now, it seems very natural to him.
Yeah, and not even like in a crazy, funny way.
Yeah.
The fans are probably worried and concerned about our team, but after today's matches, we hope that going forward, the fans can get more confidence in our team.
He's doing a really good job there, I have to say. You know, given time and a bit of experience, he could be one of the pillars of his team.
Absolutely so. You know, he definitely showed that practice and hard work pays off. A lot of laddering, a lot of custom games. He was a starting player, and he showed excellent 2 games.
And here we have the results for you guys. Today, Mad Bull with 2 wins against Bjarne and Maru before Jakchi was the one who closed the series with a 4-1. Marine King, the only player that we've seen for the Prime team taking a victory.
Yeah, he was able to hold off the attack from Mad Bull on Icarus. Really good defense. And of course, we're going to take a look a little bit later at our standings after today, which is great news for NS HoSeo. They were at the bottom of the bucket with -8, and now still in the negative and at the bottom of the list, but they're 1 and 2, the same as Prime, the same as LGIM and FX Open, so they still have a very good chance here.
And look how cool this actually looks right now. We have a very, very close ranking here. I mean, of course, the indicator is very important. There's a difference of 10 between the first team being MVP and the 8th team being NS HoSeo. But still, when you look at the win-loss ratio, all of those teams are still very, very close. So there's not a single one dominating the league and one being the punching bag.
No 3-0 and no 0-3.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing to note. So every team is still fairly close. All it takes is one loss or one win and things can get turned around.
Exactly. And next week we are heading into into week 4. So this is going to be very interesting to see who's going to pull ahead. FX Open is up against NS HoSeo. They have to repeat the performance if they want to make sure that they get into the middle of the rankings. And Prime is up against Axiom Acer. 2 really, really interesting matches here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next weekend, especially considering where NS HoSeo's success today. FX Open has been struggling a lot this season, so I think that match should be fairly close.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. The last time that we saw FX Open, they were successful, but before that, they lost 2 matches in a row. So this is going to be a good one. And of course, this is going to happen next Friday when we have our next game at 6 p.m. Korean Standard Time. Yeah, this is it for today after a very surprising result in the match between NS HoSeo and Prime.
Yeah, that's it.
Very cool performance. I love to see a Mad Bull next week. I'm really still a little bit blown away by how well they did today, and I can't wait to see NS HoSeo perform next week. This is it for the day, as mentioned. We'll see you guys next time, so have a good weekend, have a good day, and we'll see you next Friday with the GSTL. Bye-bye.
4 years, 4 kids later down the line. My progression is my profession. I'm doing shows with a 9. My mama's trying to kick in. My sister, she doing fine. And I'm making my way through life, no longer blinded. Wait, a minor setback is supposed to be friend of mine. Emptied the clip on me one night when the friendly fight turned personal. Guess he wasn't my friend after all. After a brawl, hit me 3